That's a team, gentlemen. Hell yeah. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. The money, the money,
What is up, everybody? Welcome in a new edition of Any Given Wager. SPJ, Sweatpants, Jesus, Daniel Collins, Adam Kaufman here with you. Sadly, no Danny Burke, but if you were with us yesterday, you know that he is on location, has a wedding this weekend. He suffered through poor Wi-Fi yesterday, gave out some plays for the weekend as well. We'll recap those a little bit later on. We'll continue, maybe even wrap up that Survivor conversation. John Hyslop, Slop Rule, is going to join us coming up in just a little bit. We're going to deep dive, go game by game for every single contest ahead of us on this glorious Sunday that we've got. Not what, I don't know,
72 hours.
70. It's not 72.
48.
72.
I guess with.
Where'd
Sorry.
you come up with 72? All the games will be over by then, I think.
48 hours. How about that?
Less than that, even 47. Yeah. No, early game.
Yeah.
It's like 44. You know what? Who gives a shit? Patriots are 9-2 and they're the top team in the NFL. That's all I care about. New England. The Super Bowl of the AFC at least runs through Foxborough, SPJ. The Patriots, the glorious Patriots, because the Broncos, they're going to fall to the Chiefs this week. The Colts, they're on the bye. What is true right now should still be true come Monday evening, and that is the New England Patriots have the best record in the NFL, all by their lonesome.
I'll give you credit because we talked about this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you were kind of foreshadowing on what this back half of the season would look like for the New England Patriots, also with their schedule. And they actually brought it up last night after the win from on TNF and the kind of the post-game situation and looking at their schedule. And it's like, and you brought this up as a fan, and I mean, we talked about it a few weeks ago. This team could very easily win 14 games. And if they don't drop a game going into the, that Buffalo Bills game is kind of the only one on the schedule. Maybe the Ravens in that last month of the season too. Those are the two that could maybe be losses at this point, but they're going to win 9 games. They already are over 500 for the season. Mike Vrabel and company look awesome. Drake May is a bona fide MVP candidate. We talked about it going into, a couple weeks ago as well. I don't think they looked spectacular last night. They got the job done. They won the game. They covered the spread for you magically. The Jets aren't very good, but they stuck around long enough. I was really pissed off at Adonai Mitchell and how that whole situation went down. He had target after target after target, and Justin Fields just could not get him the football, which was unfortunate. And our 3 props that we had, myself, my 2, and Danny's, unfortunately did not come through. You carried the load last night with your Patriots covering the spread. But, your team's looking like one of the best teams in football. We're going to see what happens down the stretch, obviously. And Mike Vrabel, as a sad Tennessee Titans fan right now, I saw a content creator that I follow who does Titans football stuff talking about how he's kind of trying to convince himself over the last 18 months, especially post, Vrabel era of this is the franchise turning the page and looking to kind of move into this new era of football. And he apparently was talking about how he had somebody saying that this could be the dark ages for the Titans program. And watching Vrabel last night, and actually this particular season as a whole, and I'm sure that you feel this way on the positive spectrum of this, and what he brings to the table as a head coach and a leader of men in football is just it's a unique characteristic. And a lot of franchises would love to have somebody like that, and somebody that watched my franchise kick him to the curb. And a lot of people forget that the last half of Vrabel's tenure in Tennessee was not spectacular. Like that team was a losing football team. But if you surround Mike Vrabel with good coaches and you surround Mike Vrabel with good, solid and / elite football players, he's going to win football games. And that's the part of it to me as a Titans fan looking at it sadly going, damn, we used to have that. And it's not totally rose-colored glasses of like forgetting, what happened at the end of his tenure, but you're seeing what he can do with a bona fide roster that has talent across the board, and you are seeing the results. So, I don't really see a way that this team isn't competing for the number 1 seed in the AFC when we get into the end of December, barring any injuries as always, or just a catastrophic collapse. And I know that I've stroked your ego enough about your team, I guess, and I've sent you enough tweets to kind of let you know how good this team is, just from a statistical perspective too. Like I sent you that tweet that I think is OptaStats posted about how and I said it last week, and it's even furthered into this week, that Drake May is playing the best football that we've ever seen from an NFL quarterback ever for the first 11 weeks of the season. So it's
based
incredible.
On it's not necessarily the eye test, but
statistically speaking.
Yeah.
But I mean, the eye test too, he's been great. I saw an interesting point though. We can maybe chat about this before we jump into, slop and games. I think it was Jonathan Vilma on ESPN today talking about how he thought that the cupcake schedule and the mixture of really good play calling and being surrounded by good pieces kind of paled in comparison to the arguments of Stafford, Daniel Jones, and Sam Darnold in comparison to Drake May from an MVP perspective. And I thought that we actually had this discussion. Was it last week? We talked about this and kind of all had we were talking about Jonathan Taylor and what he could bring to the table, but also what, Drake May, Sam Darnold, and Matthew Stafford to the table too. And I think that it's going to be I think that this MVP race is going to be a lot more interesting in comparison to years past. Don't you think? I mean, obviously your guy being at the forefront right now, but you've got about 4 or 5 quarterbacks / Jonathan Taylor, if you want to throw him in there, that you can really make legitimate cases for. Whereas I feel like in years past, it's been like a 2-man race, or even like a runaway train of when Rodgers won it or when Lamar won it. Like, I feel like that there's a lot of guys this season that you can really make, cases for, which is going to show how competitive and awesome the top part of the NFL has been.
Well, I think if you look at last year, for instance, like you said, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, nobody really knew who was going to get that. Came down to the wire. I was actually invested at plus 750 preseason on Josh Allen, so I was happy that he brought that one home. But, that was it was in doubt, especially after Lamar Jackson had already won the the AP First Team Award, and a lot of the time, if you win that, you get the MVP, at least at the quarterback position. And, after the fact, I think some people came out and just said, well, it's like the voters were sort of doing Jackson a solid because they knew they weren't going to give him MVP. So it's like, you take this, he'll get this. And that's kind of what ends up happening to some degree with Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, last year and in years past, that's a running back award. It's a wide receiver award. It's a non-quarterback award because non-quarterbacks, in recent years, they're just really not even quite considered for MVP, right or wrong. That's why, people keep bringing up Jonathan Taylor, and you mentioned Jonathan Taylor. And obviously, if Taylor goes on to do things that are ultimately historic, then sure, there's an argument to be made. But think about the years that Saquon and your guy Derrick Henry had last year, and they weren't even in the conversation. Yeah. They were not even in the conversation, and those dudes were incredible last year. So that's why I do, fair or unfair, and time will bear this out, but as we sit here in mid-November, anytime anybody brings up Jonathan Taylor, I just kind of scoff at it, because history would tell you he's not going to win. You need to be a quarterback. So that's the first benchmark. And then next to that, you need to be a division winner, which obviously, would apply to Taylor and the Colts, could conceivably apply to Stafford, the Rams, certainly looking like it could apply to Drake May and the Patriots. But, I think some of the different narratives that will go along with it, again, the redemption arc for Vrabel, for the Patriots themselves as a franchise after living in the toilet for the last few years, making the playoffs in 21. You know, obviously the over under, like you said, at 9 wins, they've already cashed it. It was 8.5, and so they hit the 9 wins here in week 11. It's ridiculous. This team, to me, it's the 1 seed to lose, and that's not even my Patriots bias. It's just looking at the schedules and the teams that are around them right now. And we'll bring in Slop in a second, but the Colts have 8 wins. The Broncos have 8 wins. The Chargers have 7 wins. Those are the 3 teams that are in your vicinity of the Patriots 9 at this point. And all of those teams have considerably tougher schedules than New England. You know, they should have a 10-game winning streak going into their bye. They're at Cincinnati and that awful defense coming up, and then they host the Giants. And from there, you have the bye week, and then the 2 games that you mentioned against the Bills and the Ravens, 2 teams that absolutely could be losses on their schedule. But even if they are, then you finish out with the Dolphins and the Jets. I think it's in reverse order. Jets, then Dolphins. But this is now, I mean, this could be, it's not crazy to say this could be a what? That would be 13-4 team, and maybe even a 14-3 team. And if this team is the 1 seed, it compared to the expectations, if they are the 1 seed, and Drake May is at the face of it, doing what he is doing statistically, and you continue, you hit the nail on the head. And this is a lot of the conversation that I have had locally here to, you know, the Boston, New England area throughout the day today and last night after the game, is that the Patriots didn't look great last night. And they still won by margin. I mean, not if you had 13.5, but if you had 12.5 going into that game, they went out and survived it at the end, but they took care of business. And so this, you know, they're now at that point, and this applies to good to great teams. Good and especially great teams win games going away that they still don't look all that good and look like they kind of played with their food a little bit and toyed with the opponent and let them hang around. Let's not forget, this is now 8 times in 11 games that the Patriots have allowed first drive points to their opponent, 6 times touchdowns, the other 2 field goals. One of those last night, a touchdown, obviously, to Justin Fields of all people and those Jets. And from there, just punt. You know, they just shut them down. It's like, you know what? Let's give you a touchdown to start. Make this thing a little interesting. It's like you go out and you golf with someone who's better than you, and you have it. You know, like, what's your handicap? How many strokes are you going to spot me? That kind of thing. That's what the Patriots were doing with the Jets last night. You take a touchdown, and we're still going to win by 12.5. Which, by the way, that parlay, if we had played it, that plus 410 or whatever it was, it hit the Jets by a freaking miracle of
by
the
nut hair
there by Borregales. They cover the 7.5 in the first half, and then the Patriots covered the 12.5 full game. If we had played that, if that had been a full unit play for us, then we would have picked up a quick, 4 units on that. So I hope people did invest, by the way. But again, we can go round and round on this. But the bottom line is, and I can't believe I'm saying these words out loud on the cusp of Thanksgiving, but the 1 seed in the AFC is the Patriots to lose. Right.
100%. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I just want to comment on this before we bring Slop up here, because I kind of touched on this when we were talking about this before. It does. It really does. And again, it's because I'm a really big believer, and I love Mike Vrabel, and I love the just aura and the leadership qualities and everything that he brings to the table as a head football coach. So yes, of course. However, like I said to you when we were talking about this previously, this is kind of like when you break up with a ex-girlfriend. And you break up with her because you know that the time has come to move on. You're not like breaking up necessarily on bad terms, but it's like the ship has sailed. You need to move in a different direction, and you break up amicably. That's what the Titans.
No, they did not. Don't say the Titans and Mike Vrabel broke up amicably.
Okay, from a perspective of
maybe,
the Titans,
maybe as a fan, but Amy Strunk and Mike Vrabel hate each other. There was nothing amicable about that.
Vrabel did not want to move on. However, the franchise felt like they wanted to move on. And as a fan watching that team, that I can look at it and go, the team and the construction of the roster felt like that they needed to move on from that perspective. Maybe not Vrabel's perspective. Maybe not. Sure. I wanted it to be that particular case, but I felt like the results were not leading in the direction that they wanted to go.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you do that. Okay, yeah, amicable might have been the wrong word. Not a grossly terrible, I guess. A lot of the fan base from the Titans at that point were shocked by the news, but they kind of accepted the fact that this was the direction the franchise needed to go. That was obviously a bad decision.
Yeah, you know what it was? Here's the better comp. Amy Adams Strunk publicly isn't saying anything negative about Mike Vrabel. Same story, Vrabel of the Titans. They are co-parenting nicely to the fan base.
Sure. What I was going to say is it's like you have an ex-girlfriend and then like she goes and gets a boyfriend and then like they go and like he's good looking and then they go and get engaged and like things are going pretty well in her life and you're seeing that on social media. Like that's what it feels like. And you haven't gotten a other significant other that you feel good about. So you're just kind of sitting there living the single life and it's not going so well.
Yeah, I think it's the other way. I think your girlfriend went out and got implants.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she got an upgrade across the board.
She lost a whole bunch of weight, got in shape.
Yeah,
started taking care of herself better.
Yeah,
and this all applies to men as well. He started working out. He went to the gym. I don't want to make this, male versus female kind of thing. Sure. You get it. So, your significant other went out and vastly improved themselves and left you in the dust. That's what Mike Vrabel has done.
Oh, and rightly so. And again, I feel like that the Titans should have just kept running with Mike Vrabel and just allowing him to continue to build. And you're seeing the benefits of that, which is just lovely for me. But it's okay. We're going to talk about all of these games this weekend, but we got Slop here with us. So
let's fire up the Slop signal.
Let's get after it. We don't have to deal with my Titans lore anymore. Unfortunately, we have to talk about my team.
Talk about the game against the Texans.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it.
John Hyslop on Twitter at Slop Rules. Usually it's a quad box, but no Danny Burke today. Slop, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Where's Danny?
He's on vacation.
Got a wedding this weekend.
He's gallivanting.
Oh, okay. I know. It's like, I hope he didn't get arrested, man. But, all right, that's good. So he's gallivanting. All right, sweet.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
In jail, fighting for his life.
Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to do a little time, guys. It's fine, dude. Yeah. He'll get out.
I can just imagine the conversations in the show. Hey, can we pay Danny's bail? You know what? It's pretty pricey. We're going to have to hit a parlay. What's the Danny bail him out of prison parlay look like?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, Slop, he told us yesterday that his buddy who's getting married because he's at a wedding and he's, part of the marriage party. And the guy walked in, the groom, and we asked him for his play. And the guy was like, immediately was like, Jets first half plus 7.5. And so we relied upon the Jets first half plus 7.5 to determine whether or not the marriage was going to be a success or not.
Okay.
Covered by a hair. So
can we get that guy on the show?
Yeah, I know, right? He literally answered immediately
next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately.
Right. Yeah,
Let's put that in our notes. We need to tell Danny we need to talk to the groom after the wedding or honeymoon or whenever he's available to let him know how much was riding on this.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. That was a great call by that guy too. I mean, that took gonads, dude. Like that's we're talking the Jets. You know what I mean? Like,
and it took a doink off the post to even come through.
Well, yeah. We were watching that. I'll be honest with you, Vrabel with a quarterback is very dangerous, and he never had that. I was listening to your discussion about the Titans. He never had that with the Titans. He had Tannehill. Tannehill was a receiver in college. Like Tannehill was not a quarterback, dude. Like Drake May is a quarterback. They're going to be a problem for a long time. Long time. He is good.
Long time. I will. We could argue about Tannehill, but I have my own opinions on that.
Dude, stop, bro. You were a fan. We can't talk about that. You're a fan. Like I cannot talk to fans, dude. Like they don't. And I like that. I like that. That's nice.
This is why I wish that you were a fan of a particular team, so I could find the angles that I could get involved with that with you. But you're not.
You're gonna get to that age too, and it's just it's kind of tough, but it actually feels good. I'm a Patriots fan now, so
now
took
a few years off, but he's back.
I live in Tewksbury. I'm right down the street. Kind of. It's a long street, but
can't believe he's not rocking his nor'easter jersey.
No, I don't have that. I did see somebody at the bowling alley last night with one, so that's huge. I just can't remember which guy it was. It was Corey. So shout out Corey. Nice work, bro.
Let's go, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Did you how's the back? Did you throw a nice game last night?
I'm definitely hurt. Yeah, I had my worst week of the season.
Oh.
And yeah, it's my back. There was no music because I had the game on. They had the announcers. Not blaming the music. I would never blame the music or my back. But dude, my back was toast, and there was no music. So
you can blame the music, Andy. I'm not going to. But
Yeah,
it's totally the music.
You my back, and there was no music.
Yeah, it was the Candlepin guys down the other end. They wanted the game on, and you know they always cater to the little ball guys, and they don't listen to us guys with the big balls, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? Like people get hurt, and they don't bowl that well because we're listening to Al Michaels and Herb Street. Like, what are we listening to that for? Like, put the music on. We can see what's going on, but whatever. That's not why I'm here. You know why I'm here, Sweatpants?
Tell us.
We're going to talk tight ends. I've been a big tight end guy since middle school. Okay, so I know tight ends. All right. Which one? Harold Fannin. That's one we'll go with first.
Noah Fannin?
Him too.
Harold. Is it Harold?
Yeah, it's Harold. Every day it is, dude. We can call him Noah.
Every day.
Yeah, we can call
Sometimes
him.
the tight ends, you don't need to worry about the first name. You know.
Am I thinking of is Noah Fannin a hockey player? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes, Noah Fannin is
Noah Fant is a tight end, so maybe there's
that's a different guy
thing going on. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
but
an entirely different person.
Yeah, so Noah, Harold, whatever we call him.
Just go with Fannin.
40+ yards, dude. When I saw this line, I swear to you, I was shocked. I mean, I'm dead serious. I was shocked. I was like, wow, like, what am I missing? You know what I mean? Like, did he get a leg cut off? Or did he missing a hand? Like, what? Like, why would it only be 40? I checked it out. He's fully intact. Like, there's nothing wrong with this guy.
All limbs.
He's already done this against the Ravens once this season. He's gone over this number in 3 of his last 4 games. Now they're playing the Ravens again. They gave up 49 yards to Greg Dulcich. Okay. Hey, dude, I didn't even know that guy was still in the NFL. Colson Loveland, 38 yards. So he's right there. All right. And the Bears have receivers to throw to. The Browns do not. 40 to Tyler Higbee, they gave up. All right. I can keep going if you want me to, if you don't believe me, but I can tell you more. I think we stopped there. Travis Kelce went 48 on him. Again, Harold and David Njoku went 40+ on him earlier this season. Dalton Kincaid got him 40. Everybody gets these guys 40+. The Ravens are going to score on the Browns. Okay, I know the Browns have a great defense, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're going to like hog possession, shit like that. Dude, it's not – they're going to score on them, okay? It's the Browns at some point have to give up. They have Dylan Gabriel playing quarterback for them. They have to be like, all right, look, we had a great run on defense. This doesn't matter. All right, we stink. They just lost to the Jets. They're going to get points hung on them. Dylan Gabriel's going to throw the ball. Guess what? He can only throw it like 7 yards down the field. I mean, we're talking about a big mark here. Yeah, so he's going to need to throw it to someone close to the line of scrimmage like Harold Fannin. Plus money for 40+ yards, absolute gift. Absolute gift. It's like Chris got here early, guys.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving. How about that?
Yeah, that never happens, dude.
Black Friday?
Yeah.
Kind of. That's still after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
You said you wanted to talk. It's big tight end on a Friday guy. You want to talk about tight end, right?
Again, always have been. Look here, you need 2+ money bangers, right? Everyone knows that. That way, you hit one, you walk away with some cash, and you move on to another day, right? Theo Johnson over 4.5 receptions is plus 112. I thought about that for a second. Why the hell would that be? Oh yeah, Jameis. Playing quarterback again.
Jameis.
You remember Jameis Winston, all right? The guy who was blind, but somehow still playing quarterback and still doing pretty good. Like, he had to get LASIK, and then all of a sudden, like, I knew that was it, dude. I was like, dude, I don't think he can see. I was like they said he sucks. He's not all that smart. I was like, no. He can't see.
You just needed to see Dr. Wang.
Dude, he always, if you looked at when they got him on the sideline, different camera angles, he was always squinting. Looking, you're like, dude, he can't see. Like, that's his problem. Guess what? He got LASIK. He can see now. And last year, whenever he played, remember he played for the Browns for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who balled out? Take a guess.
David Njoku.
Yep. And David Njoku doesn't even have a job basically anymore. Like, he's like Harold Fannin's like water boy. Like, he does literally nothing on his own anymore. And Njoku, 5 receptions the first game, 5 receptions the next game, 9 receptions. Then he had 1 for 1. Everyone gets a stinker. Don't get on him. He followed that up with 9 receptions, followed the next one up 7 receptions. These are all Jameis games. Jameis doesn't play, they're going to get scored on. Everyone knows that. We saw what happened to the Packers. They're like, they have to come. If they have any pride whatsoever, they're going to drop a 40 burger on these Giants. Guess what, though? Jameis, he'll help them. He'll throw a pick six, maybe two, just to prove a point. But he will put some points on the board for the Giants. And, dude, all roads lead to Theo. Dude, 5 catches, that's going to be in the first half. That could be on the first drive because Jameis doesn't play. Jameis is kind of a problem, like for everybody, but he's fun to bet on.
The other thing too, Slop, is the Packers are 31st in the NFL receptions allowed to tight ends, and they've been getting kind of torched through the air. 27th receptions allowed in as a whole too. So I know Adam's actually kind of leaning into the Giants as well. We'll get to that when we talk about this game, but yeah, I like Big Theo. 7 catches last week too on 8 targets, and that was with old Russell Wilson throwing him the football. So
I don't know if you're going to get a little movement, or maybe this will cause a little movement for you. Giants have officially ruled out Darius Slayton for this game. That much more opportunity for old Johnson.
All roads lead to Theo. Every single one of them. It's just what Wan'Dale Robinson. What's he going to do? He's going to catch little hooks. Come on, 4-yard out. Like, what are we doing? Like, we need to move the ball down the field. That's Theo. And you think Jameis is afraid to throw it? No,
definitely not. No. Harold and Theo go into a bar on Sunday and cash Slop's tickets.
They come out with a bunch of cash, boys.
Harold and Theo go to White Castle?
I've seen that movie.
Is that a movie?
Well, Harold and Kumar is, but in this
Theo
case,
can go too.
Yeah, Theo can
we'll make you a little graphic of Harold and Theo with the Harold and Kumar graphic with those guys' faces. We'll work on that. We'll get the graphics guy on that.
If it comes through, both of these plays, I think we need that graphic.
I'd start working on it now.
I'll send a text.
Chance these lose, dude. No way. Remember Waddle last week? It feels like that. It does. Where it's like this was never even close. You know what I mean? Like this was over before I even checked the score. I didn't even know they'd started playing yet. The game was already over.
Wow. Done by halftime. Feels
Good
right.
Stuff, that
feels right. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on. I will see you guys next week. Have a great rest of the show. All right.
All right. We always enjoy you, sir. Enjoy all those tight ends and get healthy.
Can't wait. Later, guys.
Absolutely, baby. See you later, man.
John Hyslop on Twitter @SlopRules. All right. So that gives us roughly a half hour to dust our way through every game on the Sunday slate. And you only have buys with the Colts and Saints. We got a lot of action coming your way. And here's some fun facts, by the way. A trend that I was reading earlier. In 34 games with backup QBs starting this season, the over is 26-8, including 6-1 since the start of week 9. That is courtesy, I believe, Evan Abrams over at Action Network. And we could see backups for some or all of the following teams. Some we already know. Commanders, Marcus Mariota. Giants, Jameis Winston. Bengals, Joe Flacco counts. Texans, Davis Mills going to play. Niners, nope, Brock Purdy's back. Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett. So that's a good chunk of backups. Overs have been smashing in games started by backup quarterbacks. Just so you know.
I like that.
All right, let's go to Madrid. 9:30 a.m. Eastern game on Sunday. Commanders 3-7, 1-4 on the road. I know it's a neutral site game. At the Dolphins, who are 3-7 on the road. Or on the year, I should say, in 2-3 in what are considered home games. Miami from a 4.5-point dog at open to a 2.5-point favorite. That's in part what happens when there's no Jaden Daniels. The total has actually gone down a point, 47.5 from 48.5. Washington is 3-7 against the spread. Miami is an over team, 6-3-1 ATS. Commanders come in with 5 straight losses. Mariota is going to face a bottom tier defense, applies really no pressure to quarterbacks. So he'll have some time to look toward, obviously, no Terry McLaurin, but Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz. I saw in the chat, someone already loves Zach Ertz this week. Dolphins thrive against the run, so Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt should be limited. As for the Dolphins, pardon me, you and Danny alluded to the love of Devon Achane yesterday, and Danny does have an official play that I will let you talk about. He is in line for a huge game going against a 28th ranked run defense. The Commanders' secondary sucks, so Tua Tagovailoa could exploit some holes. Obviously, look toward that guy we were just talking about, the aforementioned Jalen Waddle, and Man, Dolphins are also coming off an upset of the Bills, which I just think in general means they are ripe for, a closer game. I don't want to say a letdown spot because it's not show official for me, SPJ. I do like Miami to win this game, and I would take the 2.5 if I were inclined to invest.
I'm the same with you, man. I kind of like the Dolphins here. I don't want to bet on them specifically. I also, as I told you before, I don't like these international games from a betting perspective. They're just never really. The last week was fun. There was a lot of props that hit, obviously, between the Colts and the. Who did the Colts play last week? Who did they beat in Germany? The Falcons.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're just not my favorite. Although, like you mentioned, Danny likes this play. He and I were kind of chatting about this earlier this week, and we kind of made it show official. I'm with him on this one. Devon Achane over 77.5 rushing yards. I got it at 78.5. Danny got 77.5. I don't think it really matters. As you mentioned, this defense is not very good in the passing department, but they're also not very good at stopping the run. 25th in yards allowed to running backs this season on a game-per-game basis, 108 on the ground. And Achane's kind of been cooking over the last 5 games. Obviously, that massive explosion against the Bills last week, but over the weeks before that, 67 and 67 against Atlanta and Baltimore, 2 pretty decent rushing defenses against Cleveland, 82 and 128 against the Chargers. So since Tyreek Hill's gone out of this lineup, if the Dolphins want to keep anywhere close to sticking around in this season, they need to win this game, and I think that they're going to do that on the back of Achane. So I like the rushing yards. I also do like Waddle, like you mentioned as well. This secondary is also really bad. The Commanders, this could be the last nail in their coffin on their season. I don't even know if they're going to end up bringing back Jaden Daniels after the Thanksgiving period, because if they're 2 I mean, they could foreseeably lose the next 2 of their next 3 games, and then what are they, 3-9 at that point? Like, why would you bring back Jaden Daniels at that point, a guy who's susceptible to getting injured, to playing the back half of a season, the back quarter of a season that doesn't matter for you? So I think that this kind of could be the beginning of the writing on the wall of what this Commanders season looks like going forward. We have 3 more Commanders primetime games too, because they thought they were going to be good this year with Jaden Daniels. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, I lean with you. I like the Dolphins here. I think Achane's going to have a big day today. I would not, however, be surprised, because it is an international game, and because, let's not forget, the Dolphins are also pretty fucking bad. They could lose this game outright. So I don't want anything to do with it specifically. Kind of like the over, like you mentioned too. I do think there's going to be some points scored in this game. Marcus Mariota maybe having something to say here. But I'm just going to go with Achane and kind of hopefully wake up to some coin, as I'm probably not going to be watching this game on Sunday morning.
So as we move toward the early slate of main games, that is the Bengals at the Steelers to start us off here. And I'm going to start by telling you that I like the Bengals to cover. It's show official for me to take the Bengals at +5.5. I think Cincinnati wins this game, and I would not invest in that, as a show play. But I don't know. It's sort of me hanging on to something. Cincinnati is 3-6, 1-3 on the road. Pittsburgh 5-4, 3-2 at home. I believe Pittsburgh is fraudulent and not a playoff team, much the same way as I believe Cincinnati has the talent, at least on the offensive side of the ball, to stay above water. This is a game that I need Cincinnati to win in order to continue being able to believe both of those things. If the Steelers should happen to win this game, they inch that much closer, obviously, to a playoff team. And if the Bengals lose and fall to 3-7, I don't care that Joe Burrow's coming back. I'm going to proclaim them done. So they need to win this game and come up with the upset. The total has jumped. We talk about overs and backups. The total is up to 49.5 from 46.5 at open. This Bengals team really should have had that win over the Jets. That one was a missed opportunity and then some, but 2 straight losses here. Burrow back at practice, not going to play before week 13. So it's Joe Flacco with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, an injury-plagued secondary on the other side. I'm not worried about them putting up points. Chase Brown, 21st ranked defense against the run. He should be fine as well. The fact there's no Trey Hendrickson, that's problematic. And this defense, which is obviously among the worst in the NFL, if not the worst, that's problematic. Aaron Rodgers is, going to be able to complete his share of passes and move the chains, and Jaylen Warren has a solid matchup for him. It's not a particularly good run defense on the other side. I just think there are enough offensive advantages, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I think there are enough offensive advantages for Cincinnati for me to overlook the clear defensive deficiencies that do exist on that side of the ball. that makes me want to believe the Bengals, at the very least, are going to hang around, keep it close, cover the number. But I do think they're live to win.
No, I lean with you. I like this play. The Steelers are terrible stopping the pass, and what do the Bengals do the best? Joe Flacco could very easily throw for 400 yards on them, which I don't think that that's a bad way to kind of look at this. I was very heavily considering taking Joe Flacco's passing yards because I lean with you. I think that this could turn into a shootout. Maybe the Steelers try to slow things down here because I feel like if it does turn into a shootout, that it turns into the Bengals possibly winning this game outright. But I'm going to not overthink this, Adam. I'm just going to take Jamar Chase over 90.5 receiving yards. I actually booked 93.5, and I've the line. There's a better line available that I just found, so I will be cashing out and dropping the 90.5. So be able to obviously do your line shopping. This is hitting 5 straight games. He had a crazy game against Pittsburgh, which we all saw on Thursday Night Football. Maybe they're going to want to get their lick back, but he had 16 catches in that game, or 12 catches on 16 targets. I can't remember which one it was. Let me just look.
I think that's right.
Yeah, no, actually it was 23 targets for 16 catches, which is just
Jesus Christ. That's right. That game.
Yeah. But this team is allowing the most passing yards in the NFL, the most receiving yards to wide receivers. I think T. Higgins can have a big day. I think Jamar Chase can have a big day against this bad secondary. And I do think that Joe Flacco is going to be able to move the football through the air. So if you want to just not choose between Jamar or T and just take Flacco's passing yards, that's fine. If you want to lean with Adam on the Bengals and the plus 5.5, I like that too. I feel like that's probably the right side here. But I think Jamar is going to go crazy, and I think that he's due for another big game. So give me 90.5 for Jamar, and I'm with you on the Bengals.
All right, let's go to the Panthers at the Falcons. Carolina is 5-5, 2-3 on the road. Atlanta 3-6, underachieving, obviously, 2-2 at home. Atlanta is a 3.5 point favorite, so you're just outside that field goal where it did open. Total down 41.5 to 42 from 45.5. You will remember, because I still talk about it, the Panthers have won 4 out of the last 5 meetings, including a 30-0 shutout the last time Atlanta was in its house. Raheem Morris 3-6 against the spread in same season revenge games. I have to believe this one is going to go better for the Falcons than the last one, which would involve even kicking a field goal. Automatically, it would be better. But I actually do like Atlanta to ultimately win this game. I don't feel great about the minus 3.5. I'd probably, if you're just in a pick'em league, I'd look to Atlanta there. I don't even honestly feel comfortable enough investing in the Falcons to put them in like a money line parlay. I think they are kind of a mess. But the Panthers secondary has devolved over the course of the year. It's a bad pass defense. Michael Penix Jr., he's going to have time to locate, obviously, Drake London, who's had a nice season. Kyle Pitts has a favorable matchup. The Panthers are bad against the tight end position. Bijan Robinson, top 10 run defense on the other side, but he could find, success as a pass catcher. We know that is a strong part of his game. For the Panthers, Rico Dowdle, good matchup for him. Awful run defense for the Falcons. But beyond that, I really can't find a reason to look at Carolina. I mean, for all of Atlanta's warts, excellent pass defense. Who do I really expect Bryce Young to find any chemistry with in this one? So I like Atlanta to bounce back at home after getting embarrassed SPJ in this matchup earlier in the year.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say on this game. I think I lean with you that the Falcons should cover and win this game at home and get their lick back after the bad performance against this team previously. And also the Falcons need to win, period. I mean, they have lost so many close games. They've looked spectacular in stretches, and then they've looked absolutely terrible at moments. So this is definitely one of those litmus tests, like turning point games, I think, for this team, whether or not they're going to compete to possibly make the playoffs and maybe compete in this division for the back half of the season. So big game for both teams. Carolina could come in and totally steal this game on the road with how Jekyll and Hyde this Falcons team is, but I don't want anything to do with this game. I didn't find any props that really stuck out to me. The side is a little bit sus too. The giving the hook, so I think that that means the Falcons should win this game by 5 touchdown, maybe a little bit more than that, but I don't trust them whatsoever. So I'm staying pretty far away from this one. No official plays. Also, Rico Dowdle is apparently still questionable for this game. Not 100% sure if Rico's going to go. And he's been really, really good for the Panthers, obviously. So that's something to pay attention to going into the weekend. Nothing on this game for me. You kind of covered everything else.
Every 5 minutes, I go back and forth on my survivor selection, and one of the teams that I am considering SPJ, as you know, is the Texans. Not the Falcons. Never the
That's
Falcons.
it. Don't do that.
It's like Falcons or death. Literally, if the Falcons were the only team I had available to me in Survivor, I don't think I would insert a play. The Texans are at Titans. What's that?
Have you used the Falcons yet?
I can tell you. Let me see.
I don't want to derail us too much because I know we don't have a lot of time.
I have not. Through 11 weeks, I have not yet, or 10 weeks, I should say, I have not yet used Atlanta, and I hope to never have to.
I was about to say you might not have to. Anywho, to the next best team you can talk to.
Texans 4-5, 1-3 on the road. The Titans 1-8, 0-4 when playing at home. Houston from a 3-point favorite to 5.5, 6 right now. It actually was 7. It has come back the other way with the news that Davis Mills is going to start, not CJ Stroud, due to that concussion. Though Mills has looked good in his opportunities this year, led Houston to that comeback win against the Jaguars last time out. The total has fallen so far from 43.5 to 37.5 at this moment. The Titans, 29th defensively, bring little to no pressure. The Texans' blocking issues appear to be improving. There's no reason to believe that Houston should not win this game going away. The Titans are an absolute mess offensively, shut out by the Texans when they saw them earlier this year, as you remember. Texans have an elite defensive line, should pressure Cam Ward into more sacks, more turnovers, top 10 run defense as well. Again, everything that you could outline spells bad news for the Titans. It's just, do we feel like we can back a sub 500 Jekyll and Hyde Texans team? I'll give you some trends here. Houston is an under team, 5-3-1. Tennessee is an over team, 6-3. Texans have won 5 of the last 6 meetings. Titans 1-11 against the spread at home in its last dozen games. Again, I believe the Texans win. Do I think they cover? I'm not sure. I am involving the Texans, however, in an official show play, a money line parlay that will feature 2 other teams at plus money that I will tell you about a little bit later on.
Yeah, this number is weird. It opened, it also, like you mentioned, it opened a lot heavier, but then earlier this week it was at 7.5, then it dropped to 6.5, and now it's at 5.5 in a lot of places. Yeah. The Titans
are the odds makers know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the couple of things that I think could be a factor here. Jeffrey Simmons is apparently expected to return for the Tennessee Titans. So is Calvin Ridley. And I know that like those are not massive needle movers, but like Jeffrey Simmons has been playing the best defensive tackle in the entire NFL this season. So he is a problem for this pretty bad offensive line for the Texans. And Calvin Ridley does provide options for Cam Ward on the offensive side. Now, the rookies have been good past catching the ball, but this offense is anemic, so I don't know how much that's going to really move the needle for you there. I do think that factors into the line, maybe dipping at that particular point from the 7.5 to the 6.5. Don't really understand why it's now dropped down to 5.5. I would lean pretty heavily with the Texans here too. I don't want to fade the Titans specifically. They're due so desperately for some random ass win. So maybe it comes on Sunday. I don't believe that that's going to happen. I think you're pretty safe on making the Texans your survivor pick. Calvin Ridley's receiving yards at 31.5 feels very comfortable to me. He's been bad this season, but coming back, he's very due for a boom or bust, I would say, situation. But I don't want anything to do with this game. I'll probably end up sprinkling something before the game starts. But I think that this should be a win for the Texans to stay relevant in the AFC South with the also coming off of a pretty emotional win against the Jags last week and Davis Mills looking like a good quarterback too. So don't know what's going to happen here in Nashville. Some funky stuff could go down. I know Danny was kind of leaning pretty heavily with taking the Titans at the 6.5 when we opened talking about this game on Monday, but I don't think that that's right. I've thought that a bunch this season, and they just lost by 3 touchdowns multiple times. So, yeah, nothing for me in this game.
All right, why don't we go to the Packers at the Giants then? Green Bay 5-3-1. Those silly ties. 2-1-1 on the road. The Giants 2-8, 2-2 at home. Green Bay 6.5 to 7.5 point favorite from 4.5. Over under 42.5 to 43.5, which is fairly consistent to where it was at open. This is a funny game in that I do think the Packers win, but threading a needle because I like the Giants at plus 7.5. Green Bay is an under team so far this year. The teams are here. I'll just give you some trends and I'll get into my reasoning here in a second, but some fun trends for you, courtesy of Walter Football, courtesy of Evan Abrams Action Network, courtesy. I've seen these things all over the place. It's hard to attribute, one to individuals. Just know I've been deep in the weeds looking for trends. Teams are 8-16 coming off of Monday Night Football this year. Okay, there's a fun one. Jordan Love, 2-3-1 straight up, 0-6 against the spread as a 6+ point favorite this season. Has not covered a big number.
Wow.
In 23 prior cases of a head coach losing his job or resigning in season, teams are 10-13 straight up, 11-12 against the spread in the first game under the interim hire. Specifically at home, 4-6 straight up, 5-5 against the spread at home. Give you another one. Packers are 0-5 against the spread this year as a favorite of at least 4 points. Does anyone have a pretzel headache? Did you write any of this down? Are you keeping track of what any of this means? Basically, it means Green Bay's going to win. Giants are going to cover. Brian Daboll was just fired by New York. We know that. Second head coach to lose his job this season. We know the other one, obviously. That was Brian Callahan of the Titans, who Mike Vrabel, went out and smacked around Mike McCoy the following week. Revenge narrative, though, different case. Jameis Winston.
You had to keep going there, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And let me give you the play-by-play while we're at it. Jameis Winston will start over Russell Wilson with Jackson Dart concussed again. This guy's had like 4 documented concussions, and he's played half the season. Tyrone Tracy, susceptible run defense on the other side. Losing a mobile QB hurts, obviously, puts that much more pressure on him. For the Packers, 2 straight losses. I have to think get right spot for a perceived good team in the NFC. The Giants abysmal against the run. Should be a good opportunity for Josh Jacobs to eat in this game. Was thinking about investing in him. Jordan Love should have no issues attacking an injury-riddled secondary. So again, I think Green Bay comes back from some of its poor play, especially offensively late. But I have enough respect for the unknown that always comes along with the Jameis Winston experience to believe that this is going to be a close game.
I mean, Stop said it. He's back, man. Who knows what's going to happen? He could throw three pick sixes, or he could throw 4 touchdowns and 350 yards. We'll find out. But I'm going to kind of lean into more of fading this Giants rushing defense and this Giants defense as a whole. One of the worst rushing units in the NFL, stopping the run. And I'm taking Josh Jacobs over 98.5 rushing and receiving yards. This line has moved. It's up to 101, 102.5, depending on where you're shopping. I still like it there. I think that he's due for a 100-yard game on the ground. And this Giants defense, like I said, is terrible against the run. 31st in the NFL, 152 yards allowed to running backs. 31st in the NFL, almost 120 yards per game allowed. This is just a prime spot for a team that just got dog walked on Monday Night Football. Not dog walked from the score, but they got outplayed by the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is also hit for running backs 4 straight games against the Giants, and they've soared. Saquon 174, Christian McCaffrey 173, DeAndre Swift 98. Even Brian Robinson for the 49ers had a big day on the ground too. So I think that this could be a game where Josh Jacobs could get loose. I don't hate the spread, like you mentioned. I kind of lean with you on the Giants side of things, just because famous Jameis could come in there and, I don't know, mess around in MetLife and do some funky shit. But I don't
shove it up their anus. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, all right now. Yeah, possibly he could, or he could also be absolutely terrible. Like, this team is not very good.
He's already prayed to God to save him from pick sixes. What more could happen to this man?
It's going to be must-see television regardless. Also, in the fact that the Packers need to win this game. Like, if the Packers mess around and, I don't want to say lose, because, I mean, that would obviously be catastrophic, I think, at this point in the Packers season. But even if they don't win decisively in this spot, that's bad news for Matt LaFleur right now. I think Matt LaFleur should continue to be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, but there's a lot of people that are starting to clamor that he should not be the head coach of this team anymore. And not dominating a team that is far inferior your opponent after back-to-back losses is bad news for a hot seat that could get hotter. So do I think that happens? No. You're probably on the right side from your betting perspective, but I think that the Packers have to come out with a bit of fire, and I think that they probably should.
Let's go Bears Vikings. Danny's Bears 6-3, 3-2 on the road. The Vikings 4-5, 1-3 at home. Minnesota is a 2.5 to 3 point favorite. Hasn't changed from open. Total has gone up 2 to 3 points, 47.5, 48.5. Bears have won their last 2. Lost the season opener, as we will remember, in prime time to the Vikings after that late collapse in J.J. McCarthy's debut. He is back on the other side. Caleb Williams, as we know, going to face a whole lot of Brian Flores pressure. The Vikings will, should be able to keep J.J. McCarthy safe. Poor pressure rate for the Bears. Multiple players have returned from injury. It's a bad secondary that Chicago has. Great spot for Jay Jettas, for Jordan Addison as well. Favorable matchup on the ground for both Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. You just need to know how to decipher that workload. The Vikings have won 8 out of the last 9 meetings. Both these teams are over teams, contributing obviously to that number going up. I like the Vikings to win.
Yeah, I don't have a bunch to say on this game. I do have a play in this one. Interesting spot for both of these teams. We talked about this kind of throughout the week. I'll say Danny's play. Danny's on the under. He did write about this game at bettingnews.com. You can go read his entire analysis on why he likes this game to go under in comparison. Also, I think he did really want to take the Bears, but maybe just not wanting to take his team in this spot. This is a big game for both of these teams right now.
Sure.
Divisional matchup, like you mentioned. This is kind of a test of who's really legit in this division that's going to compete with the top dogs, especially after talking about what could happen with that Packers as well. But I'm going to take Aaron Jones, like you just mentioned. I do kind of believe that he is the preferred running back, especially at full health. I know Jordan Mason does have a lot to offer on the ground, but because of what Aaron Jones does in the passing game, and especially with J.J. McCarthy's movability, and also the fact that he's looking at a lot of those dump downs, he's looking at a lot of those like backyard football type plays, and Aaron Jones has the ability to kind of make plays out of the backfield as a pass catcher as well in comparison to Mason a little bit more. So I think he's going to probably see a little bit higher usage going forward. And as you mentioned, this Bears defense is not very good at stopping the run, and they're not very good at stopping the pass. So I think that there's going to be opportunities for Jones, and I have him on my fantasy team. So I hope that he can produce for me and maybe even stumble into the end zone. So do you have before we move past this, we don't have to spend time on it. Do you have a lean on who you think wins this game?
The Vikings game?
Mm-hmm.
Vikings.
You think the Vikings get the job done?
I do. Yeah.
Are you like feeling good about the spread? Do you think the spread happens?
For the most part, and I realize there are plenty of games that are decided by 1 or 2 points, but generally speaking, if I see a spread that's within a field goal and I believe a team is going to win, I would just take the points. That's just my general rule of thumb. You can get burned by that. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure the math would tell you there are reasons to not do that and just take the money line. But, look, 2.5. I think they can win this thing by 3. Now, could Chicago, could Minnesota get a game-winning field goal and win by 1 or 2? Could Chicago get a backdoor cover? Like, everything's on the table, but minus 2.5 seems reasonable to me.
This feels like a game that I'm going to learn whether one of these quarterbacks is actually a little bit more convincing me that this is better or not, because both of these guys I don't really truly believe in. I know Danny's obviously a little bit jaded in the fact that he likes Caleb Williams, but I'm just still not bought in. We all don't really like J.J. McCarthy. So we're going to find out about both of these guys on Sunday.
All right, why don't we go to the Buccaneers at the Bills? Bills, a team that I would think about in Survivor if I had them available, because I believe they can't fall 3 games back of the Patriots in the AFC East in the win column. You got to get the job done at home. You got to find a way after getting embarrassed in Miami by the Dolphins. And the Buccaneers continue to be riddled by injuries. Chris Godwin ruled out. Bucky Irving ruled out. I mean, how long can Baker Mayfield reasonably rely on Tez Johnson, along with obviously the offensive rookie of the year favorite, Emeka Egbuka? Buffalo's a 5.5-point favorite. It's what it was at open. It's what it is now. These are 2 6-3 teams. Buffalo is 4-1 at home. Maybe I'm foreshadowing when I say that. The Bills, Dalton Kincaid, I don't think is going to play with his injury, but James Cook should pick up where Travion Henderson left off last week against Atlanta, against a middling run defense, generate some big runs. Sean McDermott, 5-9 against the spread after a loss, so that's not great if you're thinking about Bills covering. I mentioned that there is a 3-team money line parlay I'm putting together that is vicinity of plus 130. Gave you the Texans already. Another team, the Bills. They're part of it as well. We'll complete that as we move on. But, I obviously like the Bills to win this game.
I got no thoughts in this game. I lean with you. I think the Bills should get the job done here. The number is kind of speaking to me as well by the fact that the Bills might come out and just give the Bucs the business, but I don't want to fade Baker Mayfield in that situation too. So no official bets. Sorry?
Give him the business.
Give him the business. I don't really have anything official in this game. No props really stood out to me either, and I know we got a bunch of other games to get to, so we can just move on. All
right, Chargers at the Jaguars. Chargers are 7-3, 3-1 on the road. The Jaguars 5-4, 3-2 at home. Another one of those cases where LA 2.5 to 3-point favorite from 1.5. I like the Chargers here. The total is down to 43.5 from 46.5. Chargers looking for a 4th straight win, beat the Steelers Sunday night. Despite kind of struggling to move the ball in that one, the Jaguars are going to bring pressure. Justin Herbert, is The offensive line is banged up for the Chargers. I still have enough confidence in him and Ladd McConkey and the other pass catchers there. Kamani Vidal, it's a mediocre run defense, so he's positioned to have another strong game as well. The Jaguars just absolutely blow. I don't like this team. I don't trust this team. I think Trevor Lawrence sucks. I think that defense is going to give him a hard time. Perriman's gotten healthy. Mack has gotten healthy. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to stop the run. They're going to contain ETN. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers absolutely run away with this thing.
You said it best, man. I agree with you 100%. I'm on the Chargers too. I think this is kind of a show official play for you and me, and we made it a group play. Group play. I love the Chargers in this spot. It's a fate of the Jags, as you kind of alluded to. This team sucks. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I do believe the Chargers are getting healthy at the right time, and this Jacksonville defense, especially on the receiving end, in the pass catching department, and the secondary is not good. 28th in the NFL. I feel like Herbert can get loose with McConkey, Johnston, Allen. The tight end, whose name just Gadsden. I think all of those guys can have big games today in Jacksonville. This is also kind of a lot of the players are still probably on both of these rosters. This is a rematch of the crazy wild card. Was it the wild card game in the NFL when remember
2 years ago?
Yeah, was it 2 years ago? So it's a rematch of that. I don't even know if they've played since then, to be honest.
The Chargers faced the Texans last year.
Yeah, so it must be 2 seasons ago, if not 3 seasons ago. Anyway, I think you know what I'm saying, though. This is it was a weird situation in the playoffs. It's one of those. A lot of these guys were around for that. Obviously, Herbert and Trevor Lawrence were there. So, but yeah, I'm taking the better team on the road. Give me the Chargers to win. I kind of like what you said, who I think they could win by a touchdown or more here too.
Really fun one. Seahawks and Rams. Both these teams are 7-2. Seattle 4-0 on the road, 3-1. The Rams at home. LA. Outside a field goal in some spots, 3 to 3.5 point favorite. It's actually come down from 4.5. Total has gone up a few points, 48.5 to 49. Both these teams come in with 4-game winning streaks. Seattle's an over team. LA is 4-1 over under this year. Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba have been an unstoppable force. You've invested in JSN basically weekly. Rams are excellent against the run, not great for Walker and Charbonnet. For the Rams, Stafford, elite defense on the other side, but still Stafford in this MVP caliber year with, it seems, Devontae Adams is going to play. There's Puka Nacua, obviously, who's incredible. Kyron Williams, stout run defense, so I don't love him. I should believe in Seattle. I feel like when you dig into a lot of the stuff that I've just been saying, Seattle feels like it should be the play. And yet here I am believing the Rams are going to win this game and win it by margin.
I'm with you. I bet it. I got the 2.5 last night at -130, so I drank a bit of juice because I do think this could come down to being a field goal type of game. It's hard for me because I like both of these teams a lot, and I do have investment on the Rams to go over their 9.5 win total, and I do have investment on the Seahawks to possibly get out of the NFC. So I think that this is one of those games where it's going to be a great football game in a divisional matchup where both of these teams could very easily walk away with a dub here. But I believe that Matthew Stafford at home will come out and play better than Sam Darnold. So give me the Rams -2.5. I would suggest not taking the 3.5 if it gets to that line, because I do think this could come down to a kick at the end of the game, one way or the other. And I think that 3 could really, the hook could really matter here. So I like the 2.5 for some juice.
Pellet says, and I'm paraphrasing, Rams, Darnold, prove it, you jerk. It's not exactly what he wrote, but that's
the gist.
Basically what it was. Let's look at the Niners at the Cardinals here. San Francisco with Brock Purdy back, 6-4, 4-2 on the road. Meanwhile, the Cards 3-6, 1-3 at home. Of course, once again with Jacoby Brissett. San Francisco 2.5 to 3 point favorite from 1.5. The total has climbed a point to 48.5. Cardinals are respectable against the run here. Let me just dig into something real quick. Hang on.
I love when you go trend digging.
All right. Well, so here's what we got. The Niners have won 5 out of their last 7. Over teams, both of them. Okay. San Francisco 6-3-1, Arizona 5-4. Brissett looked bad against Seattle, but he has looked good against bad to mediocre defenses, and that's kind of what San Francisco has with all of its injuries, obviously, that have just week after week been sustained. Warner, who else am I forgetting? Who else went down for that defense? Bosa. Multiple guys, have obviously fallen, and so feels like a good spot. If you believe in Brock Purdy, like Christian McCaffrey is going to do some things in the air. I don't know about in the ground in this particular matchup, but he's going to be involved as he always is. Juwan Jennings has been hot as well. And ultimately, I do think that, I feel like the Niners are the spot, even though Brissett is inevitably going to hook up with both McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, actually.
Has he officially been ruled out? I saw that was a question mark, so he's definitely out.
Yeah, he has appendicitis. He had to have surgery.
Okay.
He's going to miss this game and possibly another one, so he's
That's
out for sure. Danny is on the Niners. He wrote about this game at Betting News. You guys can go read his analysis for free over there at bettingnews.com. He likes the 2.5. You can go check out why he likes that over there. You kind of alluded to this. I went with McCaffrey. I took his receiving yards. Now I hope I don't get burned by not taking his R&R. But as you mentioned, this Cardinals defense is actually pretty good at stopping the run. But Adam, I don't get this line, man. 48.5 receiving yards for Christian McCaffrey. He has hit this in 9 of his last 10 games. Against this team earlier this season, a divisional opponent, he had 88 receiving yards on 10 catches. I know Brock Purdy is back, so a lot of this chemistry with Mac Jones is kind of going to go away, but he was doing just fine with Brock Purdy. So I don't really get this line. This is one of my favorite plays this week. His target share is there. He's the most targeted wide receiver on this team, even though he's the running back, obviously. I think that McCaffrey's going to be able to burn them, and I kind of like the Niners too. I think they should get the job done here.
Okay, let's go to the third leg of my money lane. Stay in my lane. That's in my money line parlay. Plus 131 is where I found it. You might even find it better. And that is the Ravens to go with the Bills and the Texans. And I think I change my mind every 5 minutes. I think Baltimore is ultimately going to be my survivor play this weekend. Mm-hmm. At Cleveland, 2-7 Browns, 2-2 at home. The Ravens are 2-2 on the road. So much of their just everything with Baltimore is skewed because of the lack of Lamar Jackson, but he is back. He's looked good in the last couple of games. The total way down, 44.5 to 38.5, 39.5. 3 straight wins, looking to make it 4. Very important one, obviously, in that crowded AFC North. Looking to improve to 5-5 and win this division here. Browns have a tough defense, although I will remind people the Ravens put up 41 points against them all the way back in week 2. Some trends. You have Baltimore as an over team, Cleveland an over team as well. Jackson 9-4 against the spread as a 7+ point favorite against AFC North opponents. Stefanski, of course, the Browns coach, is 2-6 against the spread in same season revenge games, 1-5 ATS as a divisional dog of at least 7 points. The Browns trying to avoid a 3rd straight loss, but I think they are going to. Dylan Gabriel has proven to be hot rubbish. I am looking forward to seeing the Shedeur Sanders experience at some point as the season moves along. And if you're wondering, and I don't want to have a conversation about it, we don't have a lot of time to do it, but if you're wondering what put me over the hump as far as why I'm going to go Ravens this week, more than likely in Survivor, is because, like you said, in part, something is fishy with that Texans line. Titans are getting healthier, but also it's a really important game for Baltimore. Trust in the good players, right? Like Lamar needs to go out and get something done against this vastly inferior Browns team. My main hesitancy about using them was, well, if I can advance, I could use Baltimore next week against the Jets. They're hosting New York. I looked at the schedule, though. I did my research, and it looks like I could use Baltimore this week, hope they get through, and then, Seahawks against your Titans next week. I haven't used Seattle yet. That feels like a good spot, especially if the Seahawks should happen to lose this week. I will like them that much more. So give me the Ravens to win as part of the money line parlay, and I wouldn't be surprised if they covered the 7.5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, you just put it up perfectly. And we talked about maybe the Seahawks lose to the Rams, and then they come in and they get to dog walk the Titans. It kind of lays out perfectly for you. I have nothing on this game. You kind of covered everything. We can move on because we don't have a lot of time. I just want to also highlight the fact that you said hot rubbish, chat, hot rubbish.
I did. I sure did. North of 1,000 people getting in on the hot rubbish talk. Thank you for watching.
Rubbish.
Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Chiefs at the Broncos. Fun one. Very important for KC. And I think the Chiefs respond in kind as 3.5 to 4 point favorites, up from 1.5. Chiefs are 5-4, 1-3 on the road. The Broncos, a fraudulent 8-2, 5-0 at home. This team has a great defense. The offense sucks. incredibly mediocre. I don't know how Bo Nix is doing it. This is like the Chiefs last year, pulling wins out of their arse on a weekly basis by sheer luck, even though it was a legitimate, talented team. It was just lucking their way into wins late in games. The Broncos kind of doing a lot of the same right now. Mahomes facing the NFL's top pass defense. So again, not going to be easy for him. Don't be surprised if the Broncos keep it close, cover the number. 7 straight wins. That's on the line going into this one. Managed only 10 effing points against the Raiders last Thursday as Bo Nix continues this subpar CJ Stroud-esque sophomore season. Chiefs are terrible against the run, though. So J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, well positioned to move the chains. Some trends. You will not be surprised to learn a lot of them are Mahomes focused. He is 15-10 against the spread following a win. Andy Reid, excellent off a bye, 19-12 ATS. Here's one, though, for Sean Payton and the Broncos. 10-3 straight up against Andy Reid when coaching a winning team, which obviously the Broncos are right now. I like the Chiefs to win.
Yeah, I haven't bet this game yet. I'll probably wait until maybe betting it tomorrow. But the fact that they're giving you the Chiefs and the hook feels like it's the Chiefs to me. I think that the Chiefs win this game by a touchdown. We've talked about this Broncos team. They're fraudulent. Yes, it's at home here. And the Chiefs haven't really shown you a lot, but this could be the time when the Chiefs start turning up the temperature on the back half of the season here. They need to start catching pace. This is an opportunity for a massive divisional win too on the road as well for this team. I kind of like the 3.5. I think I'm going to probably end up taking it by tomorrow. Haven't bet it yet, but I think the Chiefs should win this game comfortably by a touchdown. Maybe they dog walk them and make a statement. I could see that too, but I don't want to invest that much into it, so I haven't bet it yet. But I lean with you pretty heavily. I think the Chiefs get the job done here.
Let's do one more, and I'll be quick. The Lions at the Eagles. The Eagles are 7-2, 3-1 at home. Philadelphia is a 2.5 point favorite from 3.5 against the 6-3 Lions, who are 3-2 on the road. Total in this one has dropped a point, 47.5 to 46.5. Eagles looking for a 4th straight win. Both these teams are 5-4 to the over this year. The Lions 23-11 against the spread as underdogs during the Jared Goff era.
I haven't really labbed this game yet. I don't like to do Sunday Night Football until the weekend, to be very honest. So I don't have a bunch on this one yet.
Well, Austin likes the Eagles.
Shocker. Okay. Yeah, sure, Austin. I kind of like the Lions. I don't know. I haven't looked into this game very deeply yet. I haven't really attacked the angles that I want to kind of take. So I'm kind of just flying blind at the moment. It's going to be a great football game. This was the presumed NFC Championship game from last year before the Commanders ruined the party in Detroit in that divisional round game last season. So, maybe we're getting the rematch that everybody wanted. It could be a NFC Championship game preview this year. We won't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, should be a good football game. Have some more about this on the weekend. We'll talk about it obviously on Gridiron Gang on Sunday with some bit deeper into analysis. But I think it's going to be a fun one regardless.
Official show plays. I have for you the Bengals plus 5.5, the Giants plus 7.5, and a 3-leg money line parlay of plus 130-ish, depending on where you do your shopping. Ravens, Texans, Bills. For Danny Burke, just 2 plays, far less than usual. He's busy getting drunk at a wedding. Bears, Vikings under 48.5, as well as the Niners minus 2.5. I almost joined him on that, but we do have 2 group plays. Achan over 77.5 rushing yards. That is an SPJ and Danny special. And Chargers minus 2.5. That is SPJ and me. SPJ, the rest of your plays, sir.
Yeah, Jamar Chase over 90.5 should help your Bengals hopefully cover the spread or maybe even win outright. Aaron Jones, 75.5 rushing and receiving yards in that divisional game should be a good one. Josh Jacobs to get loose, 98.5 rushing and receiving yards as well. Just talked about the Chargers. I also think the other LA team, the Rams, should get the job done and cover the number in that divisional game as well. And I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get loose through the air at 48.5 receiving yards.
Got Jerry the Samurai in the chat. There's players out in that Bengals game. Trey's out. Jerry, you joined us late. Okay. I respect the input. I assure you we have touched on that. Go back, review on YouTube, on Twitter, scroll back and live with us in talking about those games. I understand everyone's got a schedule. If you couldn't join us in real time, that's forgiven. All this information is still going to be current for at least the next few hours. Go back, check it out. He says he's lurking. I get it. We all lurk just a little bit. Vsauce is probably in the shadows somewhere in the chat. Vsauce. That's 3. That's 3, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here. That's what I'm
here.
waiting to see. All right.
Hey, if you missed Vsauce, though, I know we need to get out of here, Adam. We'll be live later today on All Sauce Team talking about the NBA Cup tonight. 9 games in the NBA Cup. We'll be going game by game with you guys at 5 o'clock Eastern. So in a few hours here to kick you off into the weekend, talking basketball and giving you the moves. Vsauce is also doing a giveaway in honor of the Magic winning outright yesterday from our friends at Betalytics. So they'll be doing a giveaway as well. So come and hang out with us at 5 o'clock Eastern to get you into the weekend on some basketball.
I didn't bet it, but shout out to the crew at Betalytics who absolutely nailed not only the over on Matt Collins, but laddering the dude up to 65 yards because absolutely crushed. Check out the shop, by the way. Got your Any Given Wager quarter zip going on right now. It's nice.
Right now.
It's nice. Got the BN right here.
You can get a hat too.
There you can get yourself. I need to get myself a hat. I got to get in the pro shop and do that. All right. Thanks to our friends, Dave Mason, everybody at Bet Online. Scan that QR code top left of your screen. Use the promo code BNBOL55 to join us for Danny Burke, who is somewhere asleep, burning on a mattress in Vegas and on the top of the Bellagio. I don't even know what he's doing.
If he's in Vegas after being in South Carolina for the wedding, then we need stories.
He's living his best life. Let me tell you.
He's doing the things, man.
Living the dream, just like John Hyslop. For SPJ, I am Adam Kaufman. Enjoy the weekend, folks. We'll be back with you to look ahead to Monday Night Football.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Riding in the deep. Down in the deep.
Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
Rolling.
What you gonna do?
Rolling.
What you gonna do, nigga?
Down in the rolling.
What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit.
What you know about